Welcome back to What I Didn't Know About Dennis. I'm Katie Clancy. This is Dave Fryxell and Leeza Barstein from the Dennis Conservation Land Trust. And boy, do they have some cool things to tell us about. There's a lot that you didn't know about Dennis. I'm just going to jump right into it, okay? So when you think about a land trust, you think about trails and stuff like that, which is cool. But what else is there people want to know? And they're about to find out.
Well, the core of our work, right, is land protection. So we take beautiful landscapes here on Cape Cod, specifically in Dennis, and we make sure that they stay that way forever. But in addition to protecting land, we have a whole host of programs, especially since we acquired our headquarters at Not Enough Acres Farm on Sesuit Neck Road. We've really been able to ramp up our programming, and we check a lot of boxes these days. Things like farming, education, scientific research, the list goes on.
Dave, you have a PhD in ecology and evolution and a background in pond health. How is DCLT using local Dennis lands like Chase Garden Creek or our freshwater ponds as living labs for scientific research and student internship?
Great, yeah, Katie. So my background is indeed in pond research and ecology, and I've taken a bit of that here to the Land Trust. Of course, the Land Trust, well before my time working here, had been involved in protecting pond shores. Right, Cape Cod has beautiful, beautiful ponds, and they're very ecologically interesting and harbor just rare, really important biodiversity. And the kids just love sorting through pond critters. And so we've really taken that on, and we get kids out, specifically students from Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School, out to ponds to look at these critters and then even run some experiments in the classroom.
That's awesome. So, Leeza, DCLT is now operating the historic Not Enough Acres Farm on Sesuit Neck with a massive goal to grow and donate 3,000 pounds of organic food per year by the end of this year. How does protecting open space connect directly to feeding our neighbors?
So when we first acquired this property, we were pretty new to farming, but we wanted to honor the legacy of the farmers who were using the land before us. And instead of just letting it sit there and not use it, we thought that we could actually use it for good for the community. And so that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're learning along the way with the community. We're working with local nonprofits who might know a lot more than we do about farming, who are giving us a lot of advice on what to do, and even our volunteers who are just casually maybe home gardeners who are giving us tips as we go along. But it's been a really fun learning process, and we're really excited every Tuesday and Thursday when we're dropping off food at the local food pantry.
On the topic of cultural respect and community partnerships, I love that DCLT partners with the Brazilian Resource Center for a collaborative plot on the farm and hosts a bilingual 4-H youth program. That is one thing I did not know. Why is multicultural engagement and cultural respect so central to the Land Trust's central mission?
Cape Cod has a pretty significant immigrant community that we're really proud to have, and I think we can't just not engage with a significant portion of the population that lives here. And so when we first started working with the Brazilian Resource Center, it was a really wonderful window into meeting a lot of people that we might not normally engage with our regular land protection work. And it's just been a lot of fun learning about culturally relevant vegetables and plants that the Brazilian Resource Center might want to be growing on some of our properties for their community, and just getting a better understanding of the fabric of Cape Cod.
Awesome. And there's more to that. It's not just the Brazilian Resource Center. We have some other history with cultural respect. Tell me about that.
Across all of our properties, we have cultural respect easements, which allow access, no questions asked, to Native individuals living on Cape Cod for cultural ceremony and practice. And that's just another way to ensure that we're doing the right thing, and we're ensuring that everyone feels safe and can go on our trails and enjoy the beauty of the nature that we have here in Dennis.
On to historic preservation. The Trust recently acquired the historic Sesuit Farm, right here where we're filming, which is right across from Not Enough Acres. For the history buffs watching, what is the vision for preserving these centuries-old structures and ancient stone walls rather than letting them disappear?
Right, thank you, Katie. It is indeed a very exciting time here at the Dennis Conservation Land Trust. We just bought Seth Kroll's family farm, dates back a couple or 3 centuries to be exact. And it's so exciting for us because unlike most of the properties that we protect, which are either forest land or wetlands, this property has been maintained in open scenic condition. It is absolutely iconic for anyone traveling onto Sesuit Neck Road, say towards Sesuit Harbor. the forest just opens up to this beautiful pasture land, which is just behind the camera that's filming us right now. It is stunning, and we were so excited to protect this property, not only because of its iconic and scenic nature, but because there's just so much history here. The structures just behind us were built in 1840, and they will be used by our organization not only for our farming operations here at the new property, but also to house our AmeriCorps members and other younger folks who are so central to the work that we do, but really struggle to find housing these days.
Well, so that leads me right into my next question. One of the biggest hurdles for young professionals, interns, scientists, seasonal workers on the Cape is housing. And DCLT, you talked about using Sisuot Farm for part of that. How is the Land Trust thinking outside the box to solve this very human problem?
Right, it is indeed a massive problem for every business, every organization on the Cape, just getting the help that you need locally. And more and more organizations are even doing what we're doing here at Sisuot Farm, which is acquiring properties to house your own help. We really got the lesson just how difficult some of the regulations can be when we bought Not Enough Acres Farm. Our intention was to provide housing in the upstairs bedrooms at that property, and we learned very quickly that that would make the structure mixed use. A different building code applies, cha-ching, expenses go way up, and so we're very lucky to have found an alternative solution. But certainly, housing is a challenge for all of us.
Yeah, but you're finding a solution.
Absolutely, and a beautiful one at that.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
When you're able to couple housing with historic preservation and conservation, it's a win-win-win.
It absolutely is. Let's talk about volunteering. So a lot of people want to give back, but they feel they don't have enough time or they don't have enough expertise. If someone wants to get their hands dirty at the farm or on the trails, what does a typical volunteer day look like? And do they need to know anything? They need green thumbs? What's it like to volunteer?
Well, if I may start, and then I'll pass it along to Leeza here. Our mission at the Land Trust is really, at the core of it is education, right? So we are all learning side by side. There's no expertise required to get involved whatsoever. Just an eager, friendly personality who wants to get their hands dirty. And so we welcome anybody for our weekly volunteer outings, or just one-off once a year, say, for a massive event. So there's no shortage of ways you can get involved, and there's certainly no expertise required.
Awesome. Leeza, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, there's definitely a mix of expertise. Even just speaking for myself, when I first started off at DCLT, I didn't have any experience with farming and gardening, and I kind of slowly learned as I went. And so our volunteers can definitely have the same journey, and I think it's actually maybe even sometimes encouraged, because that's how we're kind of getting people on board with a lot of the cool new projects that we're doing. And so typically we have volunteer days at the farm starting on Tuesdays in the morning, and we usually just have a series of tasks, whether it's watering, weeding, harvesting, planting, and it's really just about getting to chat with the other people that are there, feeling a sense of community and purpose, and knowing that the work that you're doing is going to help out your neighbors and other people that live in Dennis.
That's awesome.
And I will say that we already have an amazing team of volunteers.
Yes,
so
I witnessed that.
Yeah, on Thursday mornings we have a group of stewardship volunteers who are our land care volunteers. So they're out managing the other 650 acres that we protect in town. In addition to farming volunteering and stewardship volunteering, we have water quality monitoring, we run scientific experiments, we have help with the 4-H program that we run. So again, there's no shortage of ways to get involved, and these people have a lot of fun doing it.
Ah, that sounds great. Going on to climate resiliency and a future focus. So let's look ahead 10 to 20 years. Coastal resiliency is top of mind for anyone planning a future on Cape Cod. How does preserving Dennis's marshes and uplands right now protect our neighborhoods from the impacts of climate change down the road?
Right, thank you for that question, Katie. We do focus some of our land protection efforts on those coastal ecosystems that are undeveloped, right? The places where wetlands can naturally migrate inland, and that helps in a variety of ways. It attenuates energy from storms and wave action. It also sucks up all those nutrients that are polluting our coastal waterways from septic systems, and it will allow over time, over decadal timescales, the salt marsh to naturally rise in elevation, so long as it's not degraded, and land protection around the edge of those coastal marshes is absolutely essential.
Awesome. Our series is called What I Didn't Know About Dennis. So what is one thing you think that people would be absolutely surprised to learn about the land right below their feet in the town of Dennis?
I'll give you two things, Katie.
Okay.
The first thing is that the town of Dennis is the birthplace of the cranberry industry, which is absolutely fascinating. That's perhaps widely known, but widely miscited is the fact that Scargo Tower is the highest elevation on Cape Cod, and that is not true. The highest elevation point on Cape Cod is actually in the town of Bourne on Joint Base Cape Cod.
Okay.
Sorry to break it to you.
Okay, all right, because I had been perpetuating that lie, so I will stop. I will stop that. Okay. Well, thank you two so much for giving me the time to answer some questions. I'm so excited to share it with our friends. If you love Dennis and you want to be a part of keeping it vibrant, sustainable, and fed, go to DennisConservationLandTrust.org, hit the volunteer button to join a farm night or make a quick donation to protect our next historic space. Let's leave this town better than we found it.